Vitamin D, hugely important for testosterone status. Welcome to part 10 in the ongoing series of breather shows about how to optimize testosterone naturally. Part 1, we talked about sleep. Part 2, we talked about ditching junk foods. Part 3 and 4, we talked about nutrient-dense diet with the appropriate fruit and other plant foods and the best animal foods. Part 5, we talked about moving more frequently in everyday life. Part 6 was brief, intense workouts, the huge boost to T that you get from those. Part 7 was avoiding the major T killer of overly stressful workouts. Part 8 was about protecting yourself from the endocrine disruptors in the environment, the stuff that we consume, and then we go on our skin. And part 9 was some supplement recommendations. So now we get to the biohacking category of other tools and tricks that you can use. Again, I'm burying these down at part 10 because I want you to hit the basics first with your sleep, your diet, and your exercise pattern before you go run off and get into photobiomodulation. But definitely highly effective. Great research showing that red light therapy, also known as photobiomodulation, can help you improve mitochondrial energy production in cells throughout your body. Especially beneficial to the eyes. I've talked about that research where you can actually improve your eyesight a measurable amount by spending a few minutes a day in front of the appropriate red light panel. So we're talking about a sophisticated device, not just going and getting a red light bulb at Home Depot, but investing in this tool that can help you heal from injuries and can help improve eyesight and can help improve testosterone function. So every day I expose my eyeballs and other important balls directly to a very powerful red light panel that I get from my wonderful supporter of the show, mitoredlight.com. And of course, we have a discount to offer you when you go to the bradkearns.com shop page and click on that link. You will get a nice savings. It's very difficult to get a discount on these products because they're very popular. And Mito Red Light has the absolute highest quality, most powerful, and the most affordable red light panel. So it's still an investment. You can get a small one for a few $100, a bigger one for more. But Mito Red Light has a really nice price point to get you in the game working well with these fantastic panels. So consider red light therapy for natural testosterone optimization and improved cellular function throughout the body. Another hack that's a little less expensive is keeping those balls cool, and cold plunging is a great way to do it. Cold water therapy. Ooh, I didn't say less expensive, did I? If you invest in a plunge tub, it's not going to be inexpensive, but a great option for 24/7 home temperature therapy. And I love my plunge tub, and I have a $150 discount on that at the shopping page. And so cold water therapy has a direct positive impact on testosterone production by getting the blood flow and the cell repair improved through therapeutic cold exposure. And so we have a cold therapy session. And then also in this category of keeping the balls cool, you'll see assorted strategies like the underwear that has built-in ice packs in it. So you can kind of consider that in the background, that the reason the balls are hanging outside the body is they like to be cool. And you can do some therapy, like putting a pack on after you've been out in hot temperatures, exercising, for example, and that'll help improve cell repair and testosterone production. So we have red light therapy, we have keeping them balls cool, and sun exposure is really important. There's all this humor going around in the extreme biohacking community of people that are sunning their perineum, the space between the anus and the genitals, as a biohacking recommendation. Kind of funny stuff, but if you do get direct sun exposure to the testicles, it can help improve testosterone production as validated by science. Not to mention, your vitamin D status is very important for hormone production, such as cholesterol, which is directly related to testosterone. And so getting sufficient vitamin D status, the very best way by far is through exposing large skin surface areas of your body to direct sunlight at the times of day and times of year of peak solar intensity in your area. It's not that complicated, and we need to extricate ourselves from the flawed mindset of a blanket condemnation and fear of the sun, as promoted by mainstream dermatologists giving this soundbite that too much sun equals skin cancer. And the truth is, and you can download a great book about vitamin D on bradkearns.com with the download of all the PDFs. And so learn more really about the truth, where vitamin D status is so important to all manner of general health, hormone status, and cancer protection. And one of the biggest risk factors for melanoma, that's the serious form of skin cancer that's a real killer, as opposed to carcinoma, which is the more minor form that's easily excised and burnt off in most cases. One of the biggest risk factors for melanoma is insufficient vitamin D levels, because vitamin D is involved with this p53 gene that's known as the spell checker gene, because it helps regulate healthy cell division. So when you have suppressed vitamin D, like a massive percentage of modern citizens who lead indoor dominant lifestyle, you are increasing your risk of melanoma and other forms of serious cancers. The way to obtain healthy vitamin D status is to get sufficient sun exposure on the large skin surface areas of your body. That means you can cover up your face obsessively and keep that healthy, youthful complexion. It doesn't matter if your face never gets much sun, and the highly exposed areas like the back of the hands, the face, the ears, you can certainly wear a hat and not overdo it and get leathery someday and regret listening to the advice on the podcast. But the goal of maintaining a slight tan in the summer months suggests that you are manufacturing vitamin D sufficiently. So we want to have that goal of maintaining a slight tan across most of our body and getting our back, our torso, our legs, the big skin surface areas that have big vitamin D manufacturing potential. We want to get sufficient sunlight. Now, here's the thing where the dermatologists are going to, again, smile instead of frown. You do not ever want to sunburn. Sunburn is a huge risk for skin cancer, as well as the serious form and the carcinoma and the melanoma. And research shows that a single severe sunburn early in life can dramatically increase your risk of melanoma decades later. Too bad I already struck out on that one, because I remember a couple times where I got cooked and burned and blistered, and that's a bad, bad deal. So we want to be very careful not to overexpose, but to first get that window of sun exposure so you're getting a slight tan going and you're making vitamin D. It's not that difficult. The ebook talks about these calculations that you can make. It's called one ethereal effective dose. Sorry, I butchered the term, but it's like half the time it takes to burn is the optimal amount of sun exposure for vitamin D status. So it's really low risk. You're not going anywhere near that point where you're risking burning. And then when you've obtained sufficient sun exposure, you cover up with clothing, you get under the umbrella, you get in the shade, and most of us aren't inclined to spend massive amounts of time out there to cook our skin over and over and increase our risk of skin cancer. So vitamin D, hugely important for testosterone status going in this category. Ben Greenfield, the Ben Greenfield Life podcast, the deepest and most extreme and devoted biohacker there is. He has a bunch of extreme stuff in this category. It's fun to listen to. I don't think I recommend, nor does Ben expect you to try every single thing that he mentions, but he has some great programming about natural testosterone optimization that I took notes and a smile about, and I haven't tried some of this stuff myself, but who knows, maybe someday. So he talks about laying on the PEMF pads. This is the healthy generator of electromagnetic radiation, the natural radiation that you get from, let's say, connecting with the earth, what they call earthing. But these pads are kind of the opposite, or the counterbalancing effect to the harmful, unnatural EMF radiation that comes from the Wi-Fi and the cell phone. So you can get a PEMF pad for a healthy dose of EMF, kind of raise your body's vibrational frequency is what's going on there. There's electrical stimulation. There's platelet-rich plasma injections. I believe they do that right into the genital organ to enhance the performance and enhance testosterone status. And there's all kinds of other strategies, like Ben's talked about his experiment with microdosing testosterone cream at different times of the day. And the goal, as opposed to overriding your own metabolic and your own testosterone production with hormone replacement therapy, which will obviously shut down your own testosterone production, this microdosing strategy is just giving yourself a little boost without interrupting or causing a shutdown of natural production. So again, all we're thinking about here in part 10, after you are kicking royal ass on the first 9 parts. Otherwise, we don't want to talk about any of this stuff. But I guess fitting in this category too would be stuff not to do, and that would be alcohol, cigarette smoking, and marijuana smoking are all known to directly compromise testosterone production. Flat out, nothing else to say about that. So clean up your act a bit and try some of the advanced stuff. But I think the red light therapy would go in this category of pretty simple and helpful, especially if you're talking about the overall benefits with eyesight and other areas of the body, but also with testosterone function. So go check out mitoredlight.com. I'm super happy with my units and recommend them in the conclusion of part 10. Thank you so much for listening, watching our ongoing Breather series.